So the thing you were saying, that common sense ain't all that common, right? And there is some conversation about this, and this is one of the first problem that comes to mind with that is that everybody thinks that what they think is common sense is what common sense is. And the reason that common sense isn't very common anymore is because we're not in agreement on what it is. I mean, not to wax boomer on you, and again, not a boomer, but not to wax boomer on you, but it used to be back in the day that we did have an agreement on what common sense was. We were largely together on that, as far as this is how things needed to be, and we were more in agreement on the rules and the process and what people should do and shouldn't do, and who and you know what were positive characteristics in a person, what were negative characteristics. We're more in agreement on that. And what has happened to us is we've become increasingly fragmented, and we've become increasingly self-centered. One of the things about common sense back in the day is that you weren't all that important. You were just another person moving through the world. There was nothing special or unique about you. Your place in the world was to become the best you possible, get a job, raise a family, contribute, teach Sunday school, maybe do the Boy Scout meetings, help out, do the PTA, do all these kind of things, contribute as much as possible, grow old and die, and make room for the next person that was coming in. But what has happened is we're not in agreement on that anymore. And everybody is out there with this competing agenda. Everybody's got their own common sense in there, and there's no agreement anymore about what that means or who we should be. And we're not agreeing on anything anymore. And there's no common in it. There's lots of sense now, but there's no common in it anymore. Does that make sense?
It's just easier to go find your little bubble where you don't have to listen to anybody else.
And then complain that everybody else is wrong. The operative phrase in there is common. And there is no common. We're not in agreement on this anymore. We are not, in fact, realizing we have a responsibility to each other. That's what makes it common sense. That's the thing that's missing. If I had to come, that's the thing that's missing. Is before when common sense was something else, it's because we were all acknowledging responsibility we had to each other. That I was responsible for you, your health, your happiness. I was responsible for my community. I was responsible for the groups I belonged to. And I had an obligation to that. That's gone. That's gone culturally. We don't have any kind of obligation or responsibility to one another at all. And that's why everybody's sense is a little different. And we're all looking at each other going, why the hell are you acting like that? Well, it's because we don't actually have any kind of connection, responsibility, obligation to one another anymore. That's what we're missing.